The world has been taught to believe that the future belongs to a familiar handful of cities: New York, London, Paris, Tokyo, names that feel permanent, immovable, eternal. But beneath the surface of global headlines, something far more disruptive is unfolding. Entire skylines are rising almost overnight. Populations are swelling by millions in less than a decade. Trillions of dollars are quietly shifting east, city by city, block by block. By 2030, the balance of urban power may look unrecognizable, and some of the cities growing the fastest won't just rival New York or London. They may leave them behind. This is a story of ambition at full throttle, of mega projects that rewrite maps, and of cities that refuse to wait their turn. What you're about to hear challenges everything you think you know about where the world's future is being built. To understand how dramatic this shift is, you first have to understand what growth really means in the 21st century. It's no longer just about population numbers or taller buildings. It's about influence, financial gravity, technological dominance, logistics power, cultural reach, and political leverage. New York and London grew over centuries, brick by brick, institution by institution. But across Asia, cities are compressing that same transformation into mere decades. What once took 200 years is now happening in 20. Governments are acting like venture capitalists. Infrastructure is treated as a national weapon, and urban planning is being executed at a scale the West hasn't seen since the post-war boom. These cities are not catching up. They are leapfrogging, skipping entire stages of development and racing straight into the future. The first city rewriting the rules sits on China's southern coast, Shenzhen. Just 40 years ago, this was a fishing village. Today, it's a metropolis of over 17 million people and the beating heart of China's technology ecosystem. Shenzhen is where hardware is born at lightning speed, where startups can prototype a product in days, not months. Companies like Huawei, Tencent, and DJI didn't just grow here, they shaped the city itself. By 2030, Shenzhen's economic output is projected to rival entire countries. Its growth isn't organic in traditional sense. It's engineered, optimized, and relentlessly forward-looking. While New York debates zoning laws and London wrestles with housing shortages, Shenzhen builds entire districts in the time it takes others to approve a permit. Move west, and another giant is accelerating even faster. Bangalore. Often called the Silicon Valley of India, Bangalore is no longer just an outsourcing hub. It's becoming a global innovation capital. With a population approaching 15 million and a median age far younger than any Western megacity, Bangalore runs on ambition and code. Global tech firms compete fiercely for talent here, while Indian startups raise billions in funding and scale at breathtaking speed. What makes Bangalore especially dangerous to older cities is cost efficiency. Talent is abundant, wages are competitive, and digital infrastructure is expanding rapidly. By 2030, Bangalore's tech-driven economy could rival London's financial dominance, powered not by centuries-old banks, but by software, AI, and a generation that grew up online. Southeast Asia is not watching from the sidelines, and Jakarta stands as proof. Indonesia's capital is one of the fastest-growing urban areas on Earth, home to over 30 million people in its greater metro region. Jakarta's growth is chaotic, messy, and unstoppable. Traffic congestion, flooding, and overcrowding haven't slowed its rise. They've forced innovation. Massive infrastructure projects, from new MRT lines to coastal defense systems, are transforming how the city functions. Indonesia's economy is projected to become one of the world's largest by 2030, and Jakarta is its engine. While London's growth inches forward and New York's skyline fills slowly, Jakarta absorbs hundreds of thousands of new residents every year, turning sheer scale into economic muscle. Further north, Ho Chi Minh City is emerging as Vietnam's economic powerhouse. Once known primarily for its history, the city has reinvented itself as a manufacturing and export hub deeply integrated into global supply chains. As companies diversify away from China, Ho Chi Minh City has become a prime destination for factories, logistics centers, and industrial parks. Its young workforce, strategic location, and aggressive pro-business policies have triggered a surge in foreign investment. Skyscrapers rise alongside shipping terminals, and entire neighborhoods are being rebuilt for a globalized future. By 2030, Ho Chi Minh City's growth rate could outpace not just London, but many European capitals combined, driven by momentum that shows no sign of slowing. In South Asia, Dhaka is often underestimated, and that's precisely why it's so powerful. Bangladesh's capital is one of the most densely populated cities on the planet, with growth measured not in percentages, but in millions of lives. Dhaka's garment industry alone supplies clothing to the world's biggest brands, making a silent pillar of global consumer economies. But the city is evolving beyond manufacturing. Investments in infrastructure, digital finance, and urban transit are beginning to reshape its future. Dhaka's raw scale gives an advantage that older cities simply can't replicate. By 2030, its economic output and population size could eclipse many Western megacities, turning what was once seen as a challenge into its greatest strength. Meanwhile, Manila is exploding outward in every direction. The Philippine capital region is transforming into a mega-urban corridor, driven by remittances, consumer demand, and one of the youngest populations in Asia. Manila's growth is fueled by services, BPOs, fintech, logistics, and e-commerce, industries that scale fast and employ millions. Massive infrastructure initiatives are finally addressing decades of underinvestment, connecting cities, ports, and airports into a single economic machine. While New York and London struggle with aging infrastructure, Manila is laying down the foundations of a new urban era. By 2030, its influence across Southeast Asia could rival that of long-established global hubs. Look to the Middle East edge of Asia, and Riyadh's transformation is nothing short of radical. Saudi Arabia's capital is being reshaped by Vision 2030, a national strategy designed to pivot the kingdom away from oil and toward a diversified, urban-driven economy. Entire districts are under construction simultaneously. Financial hubs, entertainment cities, tech zones, built with the explicit goal of attracting global capital. Riyadh's population is growing fast, but its ambition is growing faster. While London protects its legacy and New York defends its dominance, Riyadh is building a future from scratch, unconstrained by old systems. By 2030, it aims to stand among the world's most influential cities, not as a follower, but as a challenger. And just as these cities surge forward, another force is quietly connecting them all: high-speed infrastructure, digital networks, and trade routes that increasingly bypass the West. From data centers to ports, from fintech apps to rail corridors, Asia's fastest-growing cities are forming an interconnected web of economic power. Growth in one fuels growth in another, creating a momentum that compounds year after year. As New York and London remain globally important, they are no longer alone at the top, and soon they may not even be leading. And as the next wave of cities accelerates even faster, the question is no longer whether Asia will dominate urban growth, but which cities will rise high enough to redefine the global order altogether. Because beyond familiar names already surging ahead, a second tier of Asian cities is accelerating with even more explosive velocity. Take Mumbai, a city that never learned how to slow down. India's financial capital is reinventing itself under extreme pressure: land scarcity, population density, and relentless demand forcing innovation at every level. Mega infrastructure projects like coastal roads, trans-harbor links, and metro lines are compressing travel times and expanding economic reach. Mumbai's film industry, financial markets, and startup ecosystem combine culture with capital in a way few cities can match. While London's growth is constrained by history and New York's by cost, Mumbai thrives in intensity. By 2030, its economic output could rival both, powered by scale, grit, and a population that treats competition as a way of life. Shift east again, and Seoul reveals a different kind of growth, one driven by precision and speed. South Korea's capital is already a global city, but what sets it apart is how fast it evolves. Entire neighborhoods transform in a single decade. Tech giants like Samsung, LG, and Hyundai anchor an ecosystem where innovation moves from lab to market at breathtaking pace. Seoul's digital infrastructure is among the most advanced on Earth, enabling smart city systems that Western capitals are still piloting. Population growth may be slower than in South Asia, but economic density is skyrocketing. By 2030, Seoul's influence in technology, entertainment, and design could outweigh that of cities far larger, proving that growth isn't just about size, it's about velocity. Bangkok's rise tells yet another story, one rooted in geography. Positioned at the heart of mainland Southeast Asia, Bangkok is becoming a logistics and tourism supernode. Massive rail projects are linking Thailand to China, Laos, and beyond, while airports expand to handle tens of millions more travelers each year. Bangkok's economy feeds on movement, goods, people, capital, all flowing through its streets. The city's skyline is climbing fast, but its real growth lies in connectivity. As global supply chains rewire themselves, Bangkok's strategic location gives an edge London can't replicate and New York can't relocate. By 2030, Bangkok's regional dominance could translate into global relevance. In western China, Chengdu is quietly staging one of the most dramatic urban expansions in the world. Once seen as a secondary city, Chengdu has become a magnet for tech firms, manufacturing, and talent fleeing the cost of China's coastal hubs. High-speed rail links it to nearly every major Chinese city, while international flights connect it directly to Europe and Asia. Chengdu's quality of life, combined with aggressive development policies, has pushed its population beyond 20 million. By 2030, Chengdu could rival global capitals in economic output, proving that growth doesn't always happen on the coast, and that the next New York may rise far from the sea. Not far away, Chongqing takes scale to an almost unbelievable extreme. Officially one of the world's largest municipalities by population, Chongqing functions like a city-state carved into mountains and rivers. Its vertical urban design, sprawling industrial base, and central role in China's inland development strategy make it a logistical powerhouse. Manufacturing, automotive production, and river-based trade converge here, creating an economy that grows even when global markets slow. While London's population growth plateaus and New York's expansion faces limits, Chongqing absorbs millions with relentless momentum. By 2030, its sheer size and output could place it among the most powerful urban economies on Earth. Head south again and Kuala Lumpur emerges as a city punching far above its weight. Malaysia's capital blends finance, Islamic banking, technology, and real estate into a compact but fast-scaling urban core. Mega projects and regional headquarters continue to pour in, attracted by stability, infrastructure, and strategic neutrality. Kuala Lumpur's population growth may seem modest compared to megacities like Dhaka or Jakarta, but its economic growth curve is steep. By 2030, it could rival London in specific financial sectors, not by replacing it, but by outcompeting it in efficiency, cost, and access to Asian markets. What unites all these cities is not culture, language, or politics, but tempo. Asia's fastest-growing cities operate on compressed timelines. Decision-making is faster. Construction is faster. Adoption of new technology is faster. While Western cities often debate the future, these cities build it in real time. Infrastructure isn't postponed for decades. It's executed as urgency. Populations don't trickle in. They surge. Capital doesn't hesitate. It floods. This speed creates a compounding effect that makes catching up nearly impossible. By 2030, New York and London may still be icons, but icons don't always lead to the next era. There is also a demographic reality reshaping the balance. Many Asian megacities are powered by young populations entering their prime working years, while Western cities face aging demographics and labor shortages. Youth fuels consumption, innovation, and risk-taking. It fills offices, factories, and startup incubators. By 2030, this demographic advantage could translate into unmatched economic energy. The world's next breakthroughs in AI, biotech, urban mobility may emerge not from Manhattan or Canary Wharf, but from cities still building their first global identities. None of this means New York or London will fade into irrelevance. Their cultural weight, financial systems, and global connections remain immense. But dominance is no longer guaranteed by history alone. The urban hierarchy is flattening, and growth is redistributing at a speed never seen before. The cities rising across Asia are not waiting for permission or validation. They are building parallel centers of power, influence, and wealth, sometimes openly, sometimes quietly, until the shift becomes undeniable. By 2030, when the maps are redrawn and the rankings updated, the question won't be why Asian cities outpace New York and London. The question will be why anyone thought they wouldn't. The signs are already visible in skylines racing upward, populations exploding outward, and economies compounding faster than the world can track. These 10 cities are not chasing the future. They are constructing it in real time. And as the next decade unfolds, the center of gravity is moving, city by city, toward a new urban age that may redefine what global power truly looks like. Thanks for watching.